Hey guys, welcome to Royal Pursuit, where we're going to be learning how to train your dog to shed hunt. Something that is a super fun thing to do and very worthwhile thing to do. To start off, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So I grew up in a really small town and I shed hunted my whole life, and with that came that longing to find more sheds. And the best way I thought of doing that was to train my dog how to shed hunt. Unfortunately, I didn't really know how to do that successfully growing up until I started researching a little bit more and getting into it and doing some trial and error. And I finally, at the age of 22, got a little Springer Spaniel puppy named Maggie, and I just started day one with her, just learning how to train her how to bring me antlers. And so I spent about 3 to 4 months doing trainings and drills with her, and then finally the shed hunting season rolled around, and she was about 6 months old, and she started finding a couple antlers on her own. And I'm talking about like antlers that were under the snow. Like I could barely see them, and she just was able to sniff them out or see them, and she would be able to do that successfully. Thankfully, I guess not thankfully, she since the well, let me back up. Since the shed hunting season was over and the summer's passed, and now we're into the fall and winter months, and we're getting ready to shed hunt again, I thought that my dog would just pick it up perfect once again. And I tried doing some training drills with her outside, and she really just forgot things. So this will be good. This will be videos where my dog will be fairly trained, but you'll be able to see her confusion, and you're also going to just see me starting from step one, square one, going to square two, square three, and so on. And we're just going to learn together, and I'm going to show you how to be successful at training your dog at shed hunting. And when I say successful, I'm not saying I'm the only true trainer when it comes to shed hunting, but this is something that I've found to be absolutely successful and doable, and it doesn't take a lot of time every day. And I am happy to answer any of your questions. I've done so much research, and I've done a lot of training. So as you watch this video, just be thinking of questions and comments, and I will make a huge effort into talking about those things with you guys and making videos around your questions. So thank you for tuning in. Let's get started with the first training. Alright, so we're going to start step one. This is the first step I ever did with my dog. You can notice that we're in a hallway. So with puppies, it's common for them to be confused, or when you tell them to fetch something, they'll pick it up and they'll go the opposite way, or they'll go somewhere else but then to you. Normally, you'd want like somewhere where they couldn't go that way. But since she's a little bit more trained, this is the closest thing to a hallway that I have where I live. So we're going to start off by just doing some quick fetches. Just throw and they'll retrieve immediately. And she'll just come back and bring the bone to me, and I'll reward her immediately. And that's just the first thing we're going to do. So I'm going to have her sit. Go get it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, it's right here. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Go get it. Get your bone. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Good. Go get your bone. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Good. Good girl. That's a good girl. You want to make sure you reward them and love them every time they bring that back, because you're just so excited. You just want to be excited together about her fetching that antler. The next thing I'll do to make it so she just has a little bit more of an idea of just honing in her abilities to be obedient is I'll have her sit, and I'll say stay, and then I'll throw out the antler, and then she'll go retrieve it when I tell her to. The reason I do this is because it's a transition to showing the dog what it's like to have an antler be somewhere without you just immediately throwing it and then them going and getting it, but letting them kind of just wait, and then and then we'll have them go get it. And after that step, I'll show you why we do that. So, sit, stay. And just a quick note is your dog's not going to know exactly how to do this the first time. You're going to have to teach them, or maybe throw it out 10 times and you're going to try and go get it. The important thing is that you want to make sure they understand and are really successful at fetch first, and then you do this step. And then every time they try and go out and get it, after you say stay, you want to stop them and say, hey, no, and then you just kind of get them to this point where they'll stay like this, and then you'll have them go get it. So now I'll say, go get your antler. Where's your bone? Go get it. See, she's really good about that. Good girl. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Come sit over here. Come here. Sit. Stay. Good girl. Sit. Stay. And another thing you want to do is you want to make sure you keep eye contact with your dog. It's really about building a relationship between your dog, and she's shaking because she's saying please. But it's good to keep a good relationship with your dog, and you want to be in a place where it's quiet and you're just one-on-one with your dog, so you're both just really focused on each other and your movements and your commands. Go get it. Where's your bone? Good girl. And you can notice how I say the same thing every single time. I don't vary what I say as far as having her going and fetching the bone. I don't say fetch the bone. If I said fetch it, she wouldn't know what I mean by that. I say where is it or go get it. And I say bone for antler because it's just easier than, I don't say bone for anything else really. So what we're going to do next, so after you get that routine down, you have her stay, and they'll just stay as long as you want. They know what you're wanting after you tell them to go get it after staying for so long. We're going to do the next step of, come here, sit down, sit. This is where we're going to have them sit. I'm going to walk away, I'm going to place the antler, I'll come back, and then I'll tell her to go get it. So this helps for her obedience to stay when I'm going. A lot of this is just mingled in with obedience training that you'll never do out in the field. I'm never going to have her like sit down, I'm going to go put an antler out and come back and tell her to go get it. But it just causes just a good line of obedience and tactics, and it just really helps the intellect of your dog. Come here, Max. Okay, come here. Sit. Stay. Sit. Sit down. Good. Now stay. And during this drill, you really don't want to get your dogs too hyped up, just because they lose their focus when they get too hyped up and too excited. You just want to make sure you're calm and collected. And you can tell that from her body language, she's just learned to look up at me, because that's how she just knows, you know, the communication between us two is she's going to look at me and wait, be very patient. Good girl, go get it. Where's your bone? Good girl, bring it here, bring it here. So now, I know a lot of shed hunters, when it comes to training dogs, they'll be really adamant about having that dog put the antler right in your hand. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad practice. I guess I'm just lazy that way. But I'm just really happy as long as she just brings it back to me. So, but whatever your preference is really, these dogs are very malleable and very trainable in order to teach them how to do those kind of things. I just prefer not to do it that way, but stay. I don't know if you were able to spot the difference that time, but the one thing that I did differently was I put the antler out further, and that's one of the things you're going to learn with how to train your dog, is it's always going to be steps 1 through however many, steps 1 through 5, steps 1 through 10. You never want to just like have your dog do these things right off the bat. It's always just one thing to the next. Just that's how dogs learn, and that's how they kind of just retain the information. That's the best way to do it. So, go get it. Where's your bone? Where's your bone? Hey, where's your bone? Where's your bone? Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. And you can see dogs aren't perfect. They're not going to get it right every time. Go get it. Where's your bone? Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Come on. Go get your bone. Go on. Go get it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. So that's one of the reasons that I say you need to be kind of alone in an environment where it's not super, distracting, at least at first. There's somebody down the hall, and so she got homed in on that person, so she was nervous and both wasn't sure what to do in the situation. So just moving it step by step that's why I say that, is because that's how they're gonna learn the best. So we're just gonna do this drill again. Maggie, sit, stay. Go get it. Good girl. Good girl. Bring here. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Good job. That was excellent. Good girl. Alright, sweet. Thank you for watching that video. As you can see, those are just some very basic first steps, and those aren't necessarily perfect steps that this is the only way to do it. You know your dogs, and they know you, and so with my dog we have a relationship where we just know how we train together. We just know what's best and what works best for each other. So I would just tell you guys, my biggest advice is really learn your dogs, learn what their needs are, and just help them be successful as possible in figuring these things out, and just really just be patient with them. They just want to please you, and they will. You just have to be patient with them. I've had times where I've tried to train my dog and I get really frustrated with them, and then she just shuts off. She's really nervous. She's second guessing everything she does, and then we just both get really frustrated. So if you find yourself being frustrated, just call it a night. Let's do this again another time when we're both feeling a little bit better. And if they're not getting a step, just back up and start off with some other steps. That's what I had to do with this dog. I had to start with square one for her to figure it out, but she picked it up quick again. Anyways, next videos we're going to focus on doing some drills around hiding the antlers and what we should do to help them find it incrementally. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please tune into the next one and leave some comments below. Thanks, guys.